Hello, I'm Scott Bogey here with your little T, Tommy Cuozzi. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You're here ahead of your upcoming fight against Dylan Booker. How are you doing today?
Uh, I'm excited for it. I'm very, very excited to get back in there.
And it's not, and it is coming after your Contender Series bout. How was that experience for you? It wasn't the result that you got, but just overall, how was that experience? What have you learned from it?
All except for the result, great experience. I loved every second of it. You really felt famous. You felt just everything revolved around you, and it was super cool. But I think what I've learned from it, what I've taken away from it, is like in that moment, I don't think the big lights mattered as much as I thought they would. I got in there and it was another cage, it was another opponent, and the nerves were the same, but the level of competition, I think, ramped up a little bit. And I think what I learned is I need to use mixed martial arts. I can't just I can't just come at them with one aspect of my game and be like, well, this is what I looked and saw would work. So I'm going to do this. I need to be willing to change it up, mix it up some.
And I find that's what the good thing about this sport is, and compared to other sports like boxing, where one defeat does kind of affect your career, in the MMA, it doesn't hold you back. You can rebuild, you can grow, and you can get back to the top.
Absolutely.
And what do you feel like with this upcoming fight against Dylan? What do you feel like your strengths lie?
I feel like I've tried to work everything and really build upon everything. I think as much as I've never wanted to admit it, I think jujitsu is my strong suit, and I think it always will be. But I've really sharpened a lot of my striking skills coming up. I've sharpened a lot of my wrestling skills. I want to be known as an all-around fighter. So I want to be ready for whatever he throws at me.
And are you wanting to, obviously, you're going to get out your game plan on here, but you're wanting to try to show off that wrestling a bit?
Maybe a bit. It's like I said, it depends on what he throws at me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be super one-dimensional. We've got a game plan, but if that goes astray, then we've got contingency plans. There we go. It's hard to. A good thing we fight and not pronounce words for a living.
Well, after this fight, this you also do have that game plan to be able to get back to the top. What does this year kind of look for you?
So this year, I kind of want to be my most active year yet. I'm hoping for 3 or 4 fights, where as before, if we'd push maybe like a 3 fight a year, but this time I want to for sure 3 to 4 this year. I'm looking to fast track back to where I was. This sport does have a time limit. I think there's an expiration date, and I'd like to get the most use out of my body before we start to expire, you know? So I'm looking for this first fight here in January, which this is my first, I think, winter fight, just because normally during the winter, weather's unpredictable,
Yeah.
traveling, you want to train for a fight and then be like, ah, well, the roads are insanely icy. We're not really taking a trip. Fights canceled. We see that happen all the time. So, we took a leap for this one. I dieted through Christmas, which for those who know me know I'm a fat kid. So
Yeah.
that was super fun. Um, but I'm hoping for another one, maybe late March, early April, and we'll see after that.
And obviously the contender series is coming up. Are you looking to try and stay active to try and get back on there?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a few routes that would pique my interest, but right now the sights are set on getting back where I was and really trying to establish myself where ultimately I failed before.
And I think this is your first fight actually on a different promotion than Ultimate Battlegrounds since your first professional fight. How does that kind of like play into your preparation? Are you excited to try to explore somewhere else?
Honestly, I'll take wherever. I really like Ultimate Battlegrounds.
Yeah, yeah.
They've always been good to me. They've, always kind of cared about the fighters, which is why I've gone with them. But in this instance, with the schedule that I'm trying to work with, they weren't having a fight in that time. So it was time to branch out a little bit. And not saying I won't go back to Ultimate Battlegrounds, but as for this, kind of like I said for Contender Series, it's a cage, it's a fight, and that's all there is to it. It doesn't matter where it's at, it doesn't matter who it's against. It's a cage and it's a fight, and I'm excited to stand across from somebody.
And how has the Contender Series kind of been to help you and kind of control yourself, control the pressure, and kind of helped in the mental aspects of the game?
I think, with it being another cage, another fight, it's largely just kind of the same to me, but at the same time, where that was, it was on national television, it was streamed, there were lights, Standard White was right there. I think there's a little bit less pressure this time, and I think I'm just, like kind of like I said earlier, I'm getting back to where I was, so it almost feels like I've backtracked a little bit, and now I'm retracing steps, which I'm thankful to do. I'm thankful for the opportunity to start working back, but now it feels like you've been here before, so let's get back.
Yeah. And what's your post-fight celebration after this win?
Oh man, so this time we don't have a whole lot of people going, I think. Maybe at most 20 people, so it's not like we're gonna have a big old, get together after party. I'm probably gonna find the nearest restaurant and eat the nearest food. I think after weigh-ins we're looking at Mellow Mushroom. I'm not sure, but whatever's closest food wise, and then relaxing. And then once we get back, this was planned before the fight, but my wife and I are going to go to Japan and kind of hang out a little bit there, take a nice little vacation.
But I remember you saying that you have survived over Christmas, you've not ate too much. Is it going to go straight into the restaurant, order one of everything?
Um, I don't know. I think we're going straight to the restaurant.
And if you had to predict what round are you going to get this guy out in?
The hope is always one. The hope is you go in there, land a punch, they're done, we're done, we can eat. But I'm prepared for three. I'm prepared for 10. However many it takes. I know Dylan's tough. I
Yeah,
I know he can take a shot. I know he can give a shot. So however many it takes, honestly. But like I said, we've got game plans on game plans on game plans. If one doesn't work, we're gonna pull more out of our sleeve like a magician.
exactly. And what do you feel like has been the biggest improvement in your game over the last year or two?
I would say the biggest improvement's probably been to my striking. Just like I said with Contender Series, I
Yeah,
focused so much on boxing because my guy was a boxer. And in that fight, I realized like, hey, maybe you shouldn't box a boxer. It's probably not the best idea. So once I got back and once I kind of reevaluated my training a bit, I've been going to hometown martial arts in Cary, North Carolina, to help a little with my striking, and it's come up levels.
exactly. And are you also skills training at Kamikaze?
I am, yeah. They're my main gym. That's actually where I'm at
Yeah,
right now. But they're my home. We're always every class I'm here, open mats, and then hometown's been like a Monday morning thing. I'll wake up, leave at 6 a.m., go to hometown, train at 8, and then that night I'll come back to Kamikaze MMA and fitness. I'll go on some Thursdays. I'll go to Gracie Burlington for wrestling and striking, and then Fridays I'll go to Gracie Burlington. But every class at Kamikaze, I'm there.
and how has the vibe been in the gym since that Contender Series? How has it been in terms of like bringing people in and that?
We're still definitely feeling some aftershock effects. It's anytime we get a call, not anytime, but it's funny, like we'll get a call or we'll get a message and it's like, hey, is this the gym that the Contender Series guy trained at? Or like, oh, you fought on Contender Series, and it's wild. I'm like, hey, I watched your fight. And I'm like, hopefully only the good parts, right?
Like you just skipped past like the last minute and a half, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully you skip past that last bit, but everything else, the
And
walkout was great.
and how has it been to be able to have that full gym? Because obviously that is your family business. How has it been to be able to have that connection?
Oh, it's been very great. We've got a lot of guys now and a lot of really motivated guys now. A lot of newer guys, a lot of experienced guys. Just a good mix of, people, whether it's from, hobbyists, I want to do this for fun, I want to do this for exercise, or like this weekend we've got a couple heading up to a grappling tournament and I'm going to be there coaching rather than competing, which is still really weird to me. But I'm excited to be in that role and kind of see them progress. But it's cool to see, especially in these months. Flashback a couple years ago. We during winter we were lucky to have 10 people in a class, and now it's why aren't there 20 people today? Like it's pretty cool to see.
And how is it being able to see these people grow throughout their career? So obviously you see a progression in yourself, but how is it being able to help mentor these people?
Oh, I absolutely love it. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right, Like I'm not the main coach here. I'm
Yeah.
one of the head coaches for sure, but I don't teach every single class. But also just to say that like, hey, we have other coaches here and we all work together hand in hand to help each other get better. It's very nice to see the progression, especially like I said, the example of this Saturday, like if I'm gonna see stuff, especially like in the kids class, we have more interested in competition. I'm gonna see stuff that we've gone over in the kids class over the last couple of weeks, and it's like, hey, we're paying attention, we're getting better, and that makes me feel good.
And how do you kind of rate that featherweight division just now in the UFC?
Oh man, dude, the featherweight division is. Dude, it's stacked between featherweight and lightweight. It's pretty stacked right now. And honestly, I was talking to my friend the other day, and I'm hoping like I keep checking to see if Ramiro is gonna fight again. I keep checking to see because I need him to be like top five, top 10 because I want to know that like it took the top to take me out. But honestly, like between those two divisions, I think they're for sure in the running for the most stacked in the UFC.
And come UFC 325, will we see a new champion or will Volkanovski will he defend?
See, that's tough because I really like both of them, and you can't base it off of liking both of them. But we might see a new champion, honestly.
And I mean, Lopez's fight against Silva, it was a deadly performance.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He's a killer. He's one of my inspirations after the Contender Series fight. I was in the taxi ride on the way back to the hotel. You fight, they ushered me to the medical room to make sure I was good. They were like, "All right, let's go back." And on the way back, I'm in my feelings. I'm in the taxi and I'm like, "Dude, I don't know about this anymore." And the taxi driver was like, "Look, Diego Lopez was actually sitting in that seat you're in and he almost had the same thing, but he said, "You know what? I'm never gonna lose again." And he hasn't lost since. So now I'm kind of like, well, I've got to channel Diego Lopez. So I'm rooting for him, but I really like Volk, so I don't know.
Kind of has that motivation for you that even though you did have that setback, other people have been there and look at where they are now.
Right. That's always inspiring. It's because in the time it's like, man, this sucks. Like I'm only going through this, but then you hear like, hey, somebody went through this exact same situation and this is how they handled it. And I'm like, oh, I should do better.
Now, if the rumors are to be believed, it does sound like here in the UK, the UK show in the UFC will be headlined by a featherweight matchup between Mozart and Levo Murphy. How do you how do you kind of rate that fight?
Ah, I don't know. I haven't studied much on either of those two, but I think it'll be explosive. The bit that I've seen, I think it'll be a banger.
I mean, it was a great spinning knockout last time for Murphy against Pico.
Yeah. So I think, like I said, I haven't studied a whole lot on those two, but I think either way, it'll be what a featherweight
Yeah,
fight should be. I don't foresee a whole lot of just dancing and kind of 1-2 exchanges. I think they're gonna brawl and someone's getting slept.
and also coming up, first card is coming up of the year. You do have Paddy Pimblett in that interim title fight against Justin Gaethje. How do you rate that fight?
Man, I think if Pimblett can get it to the ground, I think it's going to go to Pimblett. But I think if Gaethje is able to work his wrestling defense and keep it standing, I think it's going to go to Gaethje.
And I think a lot of people were a bit surprised when they did hear that fight that Armin isn't kind of involved in that. What's your kind of impression of Armin? Because obviously we do have to acknowledge he is a good fight. He's one of the best lightweights, but he has got a lot.
Absolutely.
He has got a lot of controversies recently. The punching the fan, headbutting Dan Hooker before the weigh-ins. There is just a lot of tendencies that are just. Can you trust him in the first card of the year?
Yeah. Yeah, I like Armin as a fighter. I think he's a great fighter, but you got to look at it as partially it's show business. It's
Yeah,
fighting, but it is show business and you kind of have to play a part. You have to play a role, and you have to be friendly with fans. You have to, all these intricate details of just like you have to put on a good face for the public. But at the same time, I saw, I think Dana White was talking about it, and Armin had turned something down. Just the time didn't line up, and I mean, he was like, "Look, you were offered, but you turned it down at the time, so it went to somebody else." And that's exactly what it is. Like they're not gonna hold up the card
yeah.
for you. They're not gonna wait and go, "Well, he's not able to do it now, so let's hold off on it." Well, if you're not able to, then it goes to the next person in line. And I think he deserves it. He's a great fighter, but it wasn't his time at the moment.
And I think the UFC are kind of approaching now a lot more of a cutthroat entertainment business. If you aren't putting on those exciting fights now, you're getting cut. They've cut Martin Bade. He was 701 in the UFC. Wasn't exciting, got cut. And there was Renate, he got cut as well recently. And he has said expect more cuts if you aren't putting on the knockouts, you aren't getting your contract renewed. Do you feel like that is the right approach? Even if you are winning, you still just can't just hold out the win. You need to put on that show.
Um, yes and no. So I think there's a line that needs to be drawn, like if we dance around for 15 minutes and I land 13 jabs, you land 12 and I win. Like it's not a fun fight because
Yeah.
ultimately it's exactly we're modern day gladiators. We're in there for the people's entertainment. And like yeah, we're in there for us. We're in there to fight, make a show, make a living, really kind of show what we're devoted and passionate about. But at the same time, we're doing it live on ESPN. We're doing it in front of an audience of thousands of people. We're putting a show on. So I think yes, absolutely there needs to be some sort of entertainment factor. There needs to be some sort of show. But I think like trying to think of a good example here. Let's see. Uh, who's the welterweight champion recently? No,
Um,
not welter. Yeah, it was welterweight.
it's not J Jack Del Medal.
No, the one
JDM.
before that.
Uh, Islam?
No, no, no. 'Cause he's an exciting fighter. But either way, you need to be willing to make stuff happen, or people don't remember your name.
Yeah.
Who was that champion? Well, he was the champion. But it's like who? Bilal.
Mabiala, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It took us a minute to think. Great fighter, but he's known for going the distance. He's known for going 5 rounds. And I mean, honestly, it's a smart way to fight sometimes. Sometimes you got to just kind of pace yourself, take it that 5 rounds. Some people don't swim as well in deep water as they do in shallow water, but it boils down to it being show business.
Exactly. And this is about show business. Make sure you guys tune in. You will want to see Tommy get that knockout, and it's going to be a great night of fights. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you'd like to add or anyone you want to shout out?
As always, God before anything. Shout out to my family, my friends here at Kamikaze MMA and Fitness, my mom and my dad, my beautiful wife, my manager Derek Brunson, and Tora BJJ for always keeping me looking good. Eden Chiropractic, which I'm about to head to right now, for keeping me feeling good as well. That's super important, especially going through these fight camps. Corrupted Arts for at least letting me look intimidating because I'm not. Man, I mean, the list goes on and on. There's a whole list of sponsors on the back of my shirt. Um, Takumi Journeys. My wife's a travel advisor, and she kind of facilitated this whole trip for us. Not only the one to Alabama where I'm going to fight, she made everything easy for that. But like I mentioned before, we're going to Japan afterwards, and she's facilitated all of that and kind of was like, here's the 1, 2, 3, 4 step by step. This is what we're gonna do. But yeah, it's I've got a ton to be thankful for. I've got a ton of people that have helped me get here, and thank you to those guys, Gracie Burlington, Hometown Martial Arts, and of course Kamikaze MMA and Fitness.
But we can't wait to see you get that win and get your way back into the UFC. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.